officially 9 days out from my biggest challenge yet, which is my very first bikini bodybuilding show. I'm so excited to film this video because I put a picture up yesterday of one of my posing videos, or like it was just a screenshot, and I couldn't believe how many of you were actually interested in seeing more behind the scenes of this prep stuff. Definitely tell me, like communicate with me through my DMs. I'm always messaging on there. Come back to the Reinvention Diaries. I am flipping loving this series. I truly feel like we're all in this together. This episode, I'm going to take you with me throughout my day and just show you how much I really am out of my comfort zone at the moment, like on all levels. This week I'm feeling really kind of high in a sense because I feel like I've got through the hardest parts of my prep, which were the previous 2 weeks. I think one reason why I haven't documented as much maybe the past 2 weeks was because I was in the depths of darkness. I had a few days where I was kind of doubting myself and I let certain thoughts kind of absorb me. I'd also had some negativity on my social media. I just felt a little bit consumed. I wasn't feeling like myself. I sat with it a bit, saw where it was coming from, realised how it wasn't serving me in any way, shape or form, and was like leaning into that doubt. Like I nearly pulled out of this competition. I am currently training 4 days a week, and I've also filmed a week of workouts, like what has totally transformed my physique, the exact workout split. So definitely go and watch that if that is already up. Today I thought I could take you with me and show you how I do my cardio, what I've been doing, kind of like my protocols into a little bit more depth. My intentions with my whole prep journey has been to do this totally in my own flow. Before I went into bodybuilding or even considered anything like this, I feel like it's got a stigma, and I wanted to keep myself as healthy as possible, but I'm very aware that bodybuilding and getting this kind of staging is not healthy or maintainable, and I kind of want to talk more about that because I always worry if someone sees my physique in this very moment and they're like, oh, aspiring to be somewhat like that, when this current level of leanness is not maintainable. It's really not healthy. Obviously I've been on much lower calories, haven't actually gone crazily low. Like I know some competitors go past a certain point. I don't want to brush over something that's been really challenging and make out like this is just easy, because it's really not. But at the same time, like what you gain from the challenge is just crazy, like out of this world. I've learned so much about my body, and I have so much more respect for our body as women. Like we are incredible, what we are capable of, and I honestly never ever thought I could ever push myself to this point of being lean. And I haven't looked outside of myself. Like I've obviously looked at other competitors as in just to make sure that I'm doing somewhat the posing right, but I've really not wanted to compare someone else's step 500 to my step 1 in something like this. I feel like I enjoyed the process more because of that. Wednesdays are my check-in day, so this is where I do my check-in video pictures posing, and then I also had a Zoom posing lesson with my posing coach Sam. I've been on a big journey with posing. My gosh, it's literally like a dance routine. Like I feel like you need to have rhythm with posing. Like I thought it was just like a mandatory pose that you kind of hold when I started looking into more bodybuilding, and oh my god, it is so much more than that. So I always take my check-ins fasted. That has been amazing for accountability, and is exactly what I do with my Flowness Club girlies. So we do a weekly check-in to make sure we're on the right track with whatever fitness goal that you're working on, and that has changed my physique in itself because you've actually got that accountability, and each week it can be such a small change, but you really see it progress, and your actions then follow up with that as well. And then I had my posing lesson. That was about 45 minutes, which we just went through my actual unique routine. I don't think I mentioned, so I'm doing NPC 2 Bros. That's the federation that I've picked. I just felt like I liked the posing style the most in that. There was also PCA that I looked at, but I just felt more drawn to the IFBB one. I may only ever do this once in my life. I just wanted to see if I enjoyed the process. I also want to talk about what I have done that's probably different to other people. Like I have actually eaten out throughout my prep. I've done it strategically. That is something I think is really important for your mental health. Like I don't think I'd be very sane if I hadn't even gone out for a coffee, you know, with other people. I've been using this decaf instant coffee. So I have my normal coffee in the morning, and then I've been moving on to this. And I never thought I could be a decaf girly, to be honest. A little bit of vanilla syrup. The reason why I have my coffee out of straw is just to protect my teeth from staining when you're drinking black coffee. Okay, so I thought I could show you my stack. This is what I take in the morning. Making a simple switch to taking my vitamins in the morning has been a big thing because I used to take all of them right before I'd go to bed. I never really put too much thought into it. I have added in ashwagandha KSM 66, and I get the KSM one because it's generally a better quality one, but studies have found that ashwagandha significantly reduced stress and anxiety anxiety levels, reduced sleeplessness and fatigue, reduced serum cortisol, so stress hormone levels. So much research behind ashwagandha. I feel like this has helped a lot. And KSM basically is just the highest concentration full spectrum extract. You've got to be really careful with your supplements because you want the main ingredient of whatever supplement you're getting to be the first one. And a lot of the time, like the bulking agent can be the main ingredient and you want to keep it as close as possible. And then I take turmeric and coumarin and ginger. This is just one that I take year round. Well, I have done for years, should I say. 2 capsules just for inflammation, and I love this. I feel like it helps with my skin as well. Super strength omega-3 fish oil, 2000 milligrams. Omega-3 lowers blood sugar, reduces triglycerides in the blood. It helps reduce joint inflammation, helps nourish brain and eyes functions, alleviate depression, migraines, so many health benefits. And of course, these are just supplements like to go alongside your nutrition. Think about your nutrition first, and then these are just additionals. Vitamin D3 and K2. The reason why I'm telling you as well is because I feel like people can sometimes share their vitamins, but they don't really explain why. And you might think, oh, I'm gonna go get all those things, but you actually want to understand what are the benefits. So vitamin D, regulating the absorption of calcium and phosphorus and facilitating healthy immune system, improving resistance to certain diseases. So that is my daily stack. And then if you want to see my nighttime stack, it's not massive, but what I take before sleep, let me know. And I can also film that. I think I've just had a delivery, which could well be my actual stage bikini that I've waited weeks for, and that I had to put a tape measure up my bum crack to get the right measurement. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually fits. I'm just about to make my third meal, which is beef mince, some greens, tomatoes, mushrooms, and some salad. What I've actually been doing recently is having a second bowl of oats in the afternoon. So I did have sweet potatoes with this meal, but I prefer to have the oats afterwards. I've been timing my carbs and stuff around when I train, which works really well for me. I've not stuck to a meal plan. I've just kind of done, not if it fits my macros. So like I have my meal timings are pretty similar. So my 5 meals a day, I've swapped stuff out. So sometimes I won't have my oats, I'll have a Greek yogurt bowl and just kind of play it by ear. Like if I want to swap out a meat sauce. Last week I was having more turkey breast. This week I'm having more beef mince, but just keeping it a lean sauce. And I've just found that I never really get bored. And I think if you're following a meal plan that feels restrictive, you're not going to be able to maintain it, or like you're going to get maybe more cravings. So I just think this is what works for me. My carbs are very low, but then I have my refeed days, which is like 2 higher carb days, and that's been every week. Really obsessed with mushrooms. I feel like they feel meaty, don't they, almost? And when you see them with like some oregano, I've got an obsession, and especially with tomatoes, so I'll just pop this in the air fryer. And then the same with like green beans and my green sauces in general. I've just mixed them up. Like I had asparagus for meal 2, courgette, half a red onion, a vine tomato, kind of like a little mini tray bake as well with this. And then a generous amount of mushrooms. I dread to think the amount of mushrooms that I'm going through at the minute, like I feel like I'm gonna turn into one. Look at all that volume. Here's a little hack for you. So if you're also buying loads of these extra virgin olive oil sprays, like I feel like I just go through these so quick. I got this off Amazon. I'll pop a link in the description. You can just fill these up with your extra virgin olive oil, and then you save your new pennies, and you save on just ease as well, because so many supermarkets don't sell these. I'd gone to Morrison's, Sainsbury's, couldn't find one the other day. But yeah, spray my veggies with a little bit of olive oil, oregano, like that. And then probably just over half a pack of green beans. And there is my lunch. So nice big voluminous flavourful bowl with ketchup, balsamic glaze and salt. Oh my god. Box right here. Guess what colour you think it might be? Oh my god, I hope it fits. But there's instructions to put on this bikini, and now it's the most expensive bikini I've ever bought in my life. Oh my lord, this looks teeny tiny. Oh my god, wait, how is that? I can't quite imagine. That looks smaller than what I feel like would go up my That is such a fine thong as well. Oh no, it does stretch. It seems to have a bit of give. Oh my God, I'm nervous to try this on, funnily enough. I bought this from Black Ice, so it's a custom bikini, and I never knew what goes into even your bikini. Like, it was a minefield. It was really overwhelming because there's so many different shapes, cup sizes, cuts around like your lower bikini bottoms. So much choice. How on earth am I going to prance around in this teeny tiny thing? I actually don't know. I think I ordered this, it'll have been maybe 6 weeks ago, something like that, and then did like a final measurement, but I've done it all just like with a tape measure at home. So I was kind of nervous. Like, I would have preferred to have gone in person to try it on or like see the colours, but I'm pretty happy with that colour. Like, I thought it was going to be too much of a certain colour, but it's not. So that is literally perfect. Just got to the gym. I've been mixing up kind of where I train at the moment. That has been helping a lot because I've been doing my cardio and workout. Some days I do them both. I'll just go early and get it done, but I definitely find I need a meal in between the two. The times that I have done like my weights and then cardio and some steps, oh my God, I come out and I'm just shattered. So I definitely find it easier to divide it up into weights first and then do my cardio later, or vice versa. Cardio later today, so I'm going to go do half an hour Stairmaster and then get my steps done, I think on the treadmill, do some work calls, that kind of thing, and just wrap up my day. I also did a body composition analysis. I would love to do a DEXA scan, so I wanted to actually talk about this because don't ever get caught up on body fat percentage for one, as in like, say if you go on like a body composition scanner and you're like, oh my God, that's much higher or much lower, like they're not 100% accurate and they can be so out, especially if you've like eaten and you've not done it fasted. Like, the most accurate body composition analysis you can get is a DEXA one. Like, you don't even really go and get one of those done for like medical reasons really, and they're the closest to accurate. So these ones can be out, but they can still be good like if you use them regularly, say, as your kind of point of comfort. But I just kind of wanted to do it just out of curiosity because I'm definitely my leanest I've ever been, and obviously getting stage lean is totally different to doing my cut. I'm doing a lot more cardio and I wouldn't ever recommend this. I know I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I really want to just emphasize, like, this is just for the purpose of my show and isn't something I'll be maintaining. We all store fat differently as well, so like this level of leanness could look totally different on you. It all depends on how much muscle you have, and my approach is going to be different to the next bikini person's approach. It's really unique and it is about finding what works for you. And for me, with achieving any fitness goal, like even doing my fat loss phase, so if I just kind of briefly explain, so when I did my fat loss journey, which I've documented on my YouTube and what I share a lot of inside the Flones Club, it's more of a gradual maintainable approach. So it's about finding fat loss in a way that's like manageable and that you can actually maintain, rather than doing drastic fat loss that you can only keep for a matter of time. And that's always the way that you should approach any fat loss journey, because you don't want to be like yo-yoing with your weight, and mentally it's a lot when you are going through like big fluctuations. So even with this prep, like that's one thing I've gone in with, I feel like a real good mindset, and I've got a really good relationship with food. I've tracked for years. It's not actually too unsimilar to my lifestyle. Obviously this is just a lot more intense and I'm doing way more cardio. But saying that, I was actually thinking about what have I found harder, the marathon or bodybuilding prep? Definitely bodybuilding prep, but I found marathon training, the fatigue was like a different fatigue but almost similar in some ways, because when you're running for miles and miles each week, my training runs were like 32 kilometers on a random Sunday. I was just, for the rest of the day, just sat staring at the TV, and I've had elements of that in this prep, but it's a different kind of fatigue and obviously more so nutrition. It's been quite interesting, but I would definitely say this has been the hardest mentally, with the lower calories and obviously expenditure being higher. And then also something else is we all have different starting points too, so fat loss does look different on everybody. Because I put it on my story the other day that I was doing one, and I did have quite a few questions. So my body fat percent is supposedly 13.9%, but like I say, that could be way out. Like, these are hard to indicate, and I'd had a meal that day, but 13.9% is very, very low for a woman. The reason why I want to maintain a higher body fat percentage is just so that our hormones can function, we can function, and the current calories that I'm on would just not be maintainable all year round. I would not be functionable if I was on these calories all year round, which is why that's why we shouldn't be striving for crazily lean bodies. You know, what we can do to achieve a more leaner physique is put on leaner muscle. So the more muscle mass we have, we can create a visibly leaner physique, but we need some body fat. Basically the goal is you want to appear as visibly lean but still carrying some body fat. You can do that by, for example, I've already seen areas that I want to improve on, like my core for one. I want to build my legs. I thought I had more muscle for sure. My quads and my hamstrings, I feel like I ran them off. I really, really did run them off last year. My plan going forward most likely will be to put on muscle in areas that I feel like are weaker, so that when I am leaner, I don't need to get, say, as low body fat and I'll still appear visibly leaner, if this makes sense, because you've got that muscle density and muscle there over time. When you have less muscle, that's when you appear softer looking. You know, that kind of like skinnier fat, smaller, but you don't look defined. And then what I basically did with this composition analysis was look at my muscle mass balance in my left and right side, and it was really similar. So like there was no disparities between my right leg, right arm in weight. It was like 0.1 of a kg between my left leg and right leg, and that can be from like an injury. My actual muscle mass is thin and muscular, so I have like a good amount of muscle mass considering my body fat, that was my goal as well with this. So my muscle mass 46.2 and body fat 13.9, and I don't think I mentioned my weight, but when I took this measurement I was 56.6 kg, which is the lightest that I've been since I do not know how young. And what's crazy is like we all, like I say, lose fat in different places first. That's what I've learned with this. Like I've noticed my face has lost fat recently, but that has been something that's come last. Some people lose it on their face first. An area for me that has been the slowest, which is really common in women, is your legs. So my back is the most shredded it's ever been, whereas like my legs have taken a bit longer, and I'm currently working to get more of like the hamstring glute tie-in, you know, like that defined look like underneath your glute. But I feel like that's a weaker muscle area because it's taken a while to come in, and some people genetically have less or more muscle in that area. But I was more happy to see that everything was quite balanced. I didn't have any like muscular imbalances on my left or right side, and also all the inflammation in my body, there was no markers, which is what I wanted to look at as well. And then I'm also planning to go for a blood test. I did go for a blood test with the NHS 3 months ago, something like that. The tests are quite minimal, so I want to do like a more extensive one. Let me know if you want to hear more about that, and also how I'm going to manage my like hormonal health post show, something that I think is such an important discussion. Also, whilst we're on hormones, we had a call inside my Flowness Club with Risha Puri, who is a hormone expert, and we basically went through PCOS, hormone imbalances, and just did an open Q&A, so you can literally ask away any questions when we get these experts on, which has been on a weekly basis. So this coming Sunday, we've got a doctor coming on to talk about skin health and how everything kind of combines. And then last week we also had my therapist on, my actual therapist who I've been working with for the past 2 years on mindset. We went over so many different topics, like we even brought up childhood trauma, went through how to heal your relationship with food if you suffer with kind of binge eating tendencies and habits, and like the mindset kind of around that. And then what we do is we store all these so you can watch them back. Like I would really recommend you to join the Flowness Club and become a Flowy Girlies and part of the family. What we're creating in that group is just second to none. It's changed my life this year on so many levels, and I feel like I found my tribe of girlies. And I also host my workout challenges in there, so this is where you can get access to my gym programs and also videos on how to set up your macros, how to keep a food diary if macro tracking is not for you, and where to begin, because I totally understand how overwhelming it is when you first start out. And I basically put what would have saved me 6, if not more, years into one place, what I feel like was really missing, and taking you step by step so that you can actually get from A to Z rather than just feeling this overwhelmed kind of situation. So with my gym wear recently, I've been making a conscious effort not to wear black. I know this time of year feels like the easiest colour. It's not like a happy colour, is it? Or I feel like it reflects my mood, so I've been going for more like dark autumnal colours, but just keeping things like dark purple, dark reds, because this time last year I was probably one of like my lowest lows and highest stresses. So I really wanted to just like, not that that would trigger you, but you know, just like change certain things, like not have any similar thought patterns or not replicate things that I associate with like a sad time. I know it sounds something so small. So I use level 6 and I keep my heart rate in about a zone 2, so I don't go too hard. Like I wouldn't want to do HIIT. And currently my cardio, it's not been like this the whole time, but this past 2 weeks it's been 5 times 30 minutes Stairmaster, and then my steps on top. So it's a lot of cardio than what I would usually do, and obviously won't keep this consistent because yeah, it's too much. If I don't do my Stairmaster, I'll do a run instead. So that was kind of similar to a routine, and like that's been another thing that with this prep, like I've maintained my runs. So I'll do a 30-minute zone 2 run and still do my hybrid style of training, and that was like a non-negotiable when I decided to do this as well. I have got a competition prep coach because I wouldn't want to be doing, like for example, next week is my peak week, which still I'm learning about myself, but where you can manipulate certain factors, but I'm not doing anything like drastic in terms of, it's not like, I think back in the day a lot of bodybuilders used to do a lot of manipulation, whereas I'm not doing too much. So I'll obviously take you through that process. I could do a weekly vlog if you'd like of the peak week, but yeah, whilst I've been doing my cardio lately, sometimes I literally do it in silence because I just don't want to listen to anything, but I've been trying to be really conscious of what I'm consuming at the minute. Just careful of like what you're taking in and who you're following, because they do impact the way you think about things, and you just want to make sure you're like aware of what you're consuming. Got home and I popped to Morrison's on my way back. I was gonna go in the sauna, but by the time I finished my steps, I did a bit of posing, and then I just thought, no, the best self-care I could do right now is go home, try and get an earlier night. That is exactly what I'm gonna do. I haven't felt this tired this week, but oh, I can't wait to get into bed. It's 8:30. My dinner is in the air fryer and I'm gonna eat that, chill, watch a bit of Netflix with Mace, catch up with him, and that is me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more and if you want to see more of my peak week. Oh, I'm excited and feeling all the emotions. I'm really just shattered right this second. But yeah, I also want to just share that I'm absolutely shattered and keep it real over here, because we are all about that. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.